Yeah, that was an interesting loss there from StrifeCro Drewbie. Really, neither one of them did too much, and then I just think that the Terrans are really good at base racing, especially when they can continue that production. But ladies and gents, here we go, starting into game number 5. It's going to be EG.StrifeCro, who is our blue Zerg here, spawning in the western position, and Complexities Drewbie spawning as the red Terran in our eastern position. And I got to give a huge shout out to VP Gamers for helping us sponsor this. Thank you guys so much. Be sure and check them out at vpgamers.com. And hopefully, if you guys are enjoying this, you'll go check them out as well, as they make all of this possible. But Zyori, I'm pumped to see what this next game holds. Dual sight, something we don't get to see very often, and of course, always interesting to note that you know exactly where your opponent spawns. So StrifeCro might actually go for an early pool here.
Yeah, certainly right. And you're certainly right. This map is pretty interesting. It's one of the newer maps that's been introduced in the pool. Obviously, it was a GSL map, but MLG was kind enough to adapt it into their own pool, so we have done the same. And it's still relatively new to us as far as our series, and I haven't seen as many matches on this map as I probably should have. But you're certainly right. The mechanic of knowing where your opponent is certainly very valuable, and we'll see how StrifeCro adapts. I would love to see him try a pool first build. Every single one of these games, StrifeCro has done pretty much the same thing. It looks like he's gearing up to do that same thing once again. A 15 hatch first. Perhaps not that drone. It's just going to walk on by. But so far, every single one of these games, he's gone a hatch first into lings, and he just skips roaches. There was that one game when he tried roaches, but he got them relatively late, considering how fast those Hellions were in his base. Are going to see StrifeCro go ahead and drop down that 15 hatch, and we'll see that pool follow shortly. We'll see what Drewbie does as well. Some 2 racks pressure could certainly work very, very well on this map. It is relatively small, and he could do some pretty serious damage with those bunkers like we saw in the first match on Xel'Naga. StrifeCro going to go for the gas steal here. An interesting choice. We'll give him some more of that valuable scouting intel, and will obviously prevent Drewbie from doing anything too gas-intensive. 2-port Banshee is certainly out of the question, as this second gas will be tied up. We do see the tech lab down on the barracks, though, with another Reaper opening from Drewbie. I do like this choice from our Terran player on this map.
Yeah, that's right. And StrifeCro doing a nice job canceling that extractor before it's done, and just trying to get some more scouting intel. But it's almost certain what's coming his way. As you see, the bunker is going down there for Drewbie, and if that bunker completes, it's actually very, very bad. That Reaper does a ton of damage to all of the units and can start hitting the hatchery very, very easily. So StrifeCro is not going to scout that before it's done, and that is unfortunate. StrifeCro actually checked for this in Shattered Temple, and now that the hatchery is finished, he does know that the bunker is up, and he's going to be sending some units over there to try and take it down, or maybe not, just teching up immediately to that Roach Warren very, very quickly and not saturating his natural at all. Just going to really shut down the usefulness of that bunker. And you see Drewbie does want to count on that to do some damage as the first Reaper moves over and is going to find his home in that bunker and start doing some serious damage to Zerglings, starting to pick away, but the Reaper will quickly scare them off.
Certainly, and I do like the choice from StrifeCro here to drop down that Roach Warren right away. Instead of these last few games when he's opted for the Roach Warren, he's adapted it very, very late into his play, and this time he didn't hesitate and brought it in right away. We do see 4 Roaches queued up, 2 of them down here at the natural, and they will be able to start chipping away at that bunker right away. But regardless, this is a great play from Drewbie right here, the positioning on that bunker to keep it in the dark, and just denying all the mining time on this natural, really reducing the effectiveness of this hatchery and doing quite a bit of damage to it as well. Whenever he decides to put some pressure on, this hatchery will be a weak target, and he is just going to continue, or not going to continue focusing on that hatchery, excuse me. He's going to try and focus down this Roach, but the bunker is just about to fall, and the Reaper will fall shortly after, and down he goes. You see Drewbie now taking out the extractor in his main base, so we can get that second gas up. We do see the tech lab down on the factory. Now it looks like Drewbie's going to switch up his play as well. He's going to switch to some more standard TVZ play, if you will. It looks like the Marine Siege Tank play is on the way.
Yeah, that's right. At least the old standard of TVZ before MLG Anaheim. But StrifeCro did poke up in there and saw that there was a a factory producing with a tech lab on it. Now he sees the tank and almost loses a Roach right there. But here he comes. He's got 6 Roaches, and they're going to try and push their way up. Not sure if I agree with that immediately, but StrifeCro could actually put on some serious damage if he did that and broke in without losing too many of those roaches. But StrifeCro now getting his second queen up. He does have that natural, nice and saturated up, as those roaches just look like they're chilling out there. Want to do a little bit of a mini contain, but you can see Siege Tech is just about halfway done. This would actually be a very, very good play by StrifeCro if Drewbie was going Blue Flame Hellions.
Yeah, certainly. And this is what I was expecting from StrifeCro in some of those earlier matches, especially after that first match when he realized, okay, Drewbie was paying attention in Dallas or in Anaheim, and I need to prepare for Hellions. Here we see Drewbie with that one Hellion out, just chipping away at these units, doing a little bit of extra damage. He is going to take out that Ling right away. Siege Tech is now completed, and expect to see Drewbie siege up this tank pretty quickly here. And there it is. He is going to start raining down shrapnel, excuse me, on these roaches. And StrifeCro on hold position is going to lose a lot of these roaches unnecessarily. That super weak roach looking like he may escape, but beautiful play from Drewbie there, just waiting until the opportune moment and then capitalized. Only two very weak roaches will survive, and this one Hellion will chase them down and at least finish off that one weakling. And there it is. So taking a look into the base of StrifeCro, dropping from that macro hatch once again, wants to play some SimCity, not going to opt for that super quick third. He will go for that lair tech at just about the same time as he has in these previous matches. So we'll see if he techs up to mutas or tries some sort of fast infestor play. And he is going to gear up for this relatively fast third after all.
Yeah, he's got that macro hatch in his base and the third on its way as well. So something a little bit different than we've seen from StrifeCro. StrifeCro did sacrifice an Overlord to try and get some scouting intel, but unfortunately Drewbie had too many Marines, and he wasn't able to get the exact unit composite, or excuse me, the exact building composition of Drewbie. Just notice that there's a lot of Marines out, and as you see now, Drewbie is moving in with an SCV, denied by 3 roaches of StrifeCro. Though StrifeCro does have that third base just about halfway complete here, and he's going to be looking to saturate that as well as possible. But 39 drones to 38 SCVs with a couple of mules on their way. Drewbie is going to be ahead in that eco, in that economy for quite some time. StrifeCro now pumping out 12 drones as that layer finishes. The +1 missile attack also on the way, so it looks like he's dedicated to producing roaches for quite some time. Roaches not the best against siege tanks, but with some Zerglings taking some shots for them, they will be able to tank up that damage. And this Roachling composition, always something to be scared of.
Yeah, unfortunately, though, for StrifeCro, as you mentioned, this build is not going to be quite as good as it would have been in the games prior, but we'll see if he drops down that Spire. As you mentioned, the lair is completed. We do see the Roach speed is on the way as well. Drewbie defending his base very well, denying that super quick scouting intel. Both players just working those upgrades now. As you mentioned, Drewbie now working on his infantry weapons as well as combat shield, and still no blue flames in sight. We do see the reactor coming down on the starport, and that armory is on the way, so Drewbie will be ready to produce those Thors if the Spire comes down. But no, StrifeCro is going to opt for an infestation pit, so we could actually see some infestors in the mid-game here from StrifeCro. I have to admit, I'm pretty excited to see how he handles these infestors. Last game, we didn't really get to see much out of them, so hopefully he can do something with these infestors to at least take back another game off of Drewbie. That's
right, and StrifeCro actually got a decent bit of knowledge there from one of the Zerglings that ran in, got immediately bombed down by a siege tank, but he did get to see that command center, so StrifeCro does know that a third is in the back of Drewbie's mind and would love to get that secured, but the third is so far away. I'm actually surprised that Drewbie has sat back for so long and just allowed StrifeCro to get his third, so it's always something interesting on a dual site. It's very, very difficult to get that expansion up and running. Drewbie loads up 6 Marines and is looking for some kind of drop play. StrifeCro does have that map vision, though, and as you can see, one Zergling is going to scout exactly when that expansion goes down. The sensor tower also down for Drewbie as the pathogen glands are just about halfway finished. StrifeCro going to be pumping out those infestors and try to take out this army pretty early as the +2 attack comes down for the infantry and the +1 armor also for the infantry. But here it is. He's going to deny that command center. Great job there by StrifeCro. Drewbie's going to have to unsiege his tanks and get in a better position to try and secure that third.
Yeah, and that was a nice little play from StrifeCro there, feinting some pressure, letting Drewbie know that he's not going to be able to just drop down that third and have it go unchecked for quite some time. A nice play. It looks like Some infestors are on the way. Pathogen Glands has completed, but there is a drop here at the most recent base. StrifeCro with a great reaction. He did kill, looks like 5 of those Marines, and a nice reaction. We'll see if the 3 remaining Marines can do any damage here, but it looks like Drewbie is going to be forced to retreat with this drop.
Yeah, and unfortunately for StrifeCro, actually lost a queen at his 3rd. There are 2 drops going on, and another drop is about to land into the main, but there are a couple of spine crawlers down there for StrifeCro. Going to force Drewbie to back up and not drop. Oh, looks like he's going to drop anyway. Great job there by Drewbie, finding anywhere that he can to start doing some damage. StrifeCro forced to pull off all of those drones, and no losses there for Drewbie. Just getting 1 Marine down to almost no health. There goes down a fungal, though. Drewbie is going to start target firing down that infestation pit, but it's not going to be enough. StrifeCro forced to use at least 2 fungals. I thought that might have been a 3rd one, but I'm not quite sure. Drewbie now is pumping out those barracks. You see he's doing a nice job walling off from a counterattack for our Zerg player, and Drewbie has so many siege tanks out right now. He's at 7 and has a nice spread of them, but it's going to be a little bit scary as StrifeCro is starting to reach that max. He's at 184 supply right now and continuing to rise up here. Again, that sensor tower is going to prove pretty useful. StrifeCro does have a nice little overseer in the base here doing not too much. Want to see him contaminate some units as he gets shot at by a couple of missile turrets.
Yeah, and StrifeCro is actually looking to be in a very good position here. He's got quite a few infestors out on the field, and he is going to go ahead and continue expanding now, taking 2 more bases and moving into that high yield. And I do love the choice to drop creep down over on Drewbie's high yield to at least have some intel when he tries to expand there, and it looks like that might not be too far away, as that next command center is just about a 1/3 of the way complete. StrifeCro with a decent creep spread as well. He's got map control. Once again, has these overlords all over the place, and if we look at the StrifeCro vision, we see he's got control of more than half the map right now. We do see some infestors around the back trying to do some damage. Looks like some workers did go down. 10 workers have been killed now. Those infestors just continuing to be a pain to Drewbie. But we'll see how much more damage StrifeCro can do as this game continues.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty difficult for Drewbie to move out here. As you can see, StrifeCro does have quite a bit of map vision. He's going to be able to know exactly where Drewbie is. And here comes another infestor in here. Looks like he wants to continue the damage. 1 fungal is going to go down. Takes down... Oh no, just barely leaving some of those units alive and popping out a couple of infested Terrans to try and deal with this. Needs another fungal here, but it looks like Drewbie is ready to move out. The combat shield and stim Marines are ready. The fungals are going to have to be absolutely perfect for StrifeCro as he takes down a couple of units, but a nice spread there from Drewbie is going to make it hard.
Yeah, that was a nice fungal right there, allowed StrifeCro to retreat and get into a better position to deal with this engage. We do see Drewbie is not quite ready to deal with these infestors as he needs to be. He is working on that Mobius reactor, and it would be great if he could wait for that upgrade to complete. A nice scan from Drewbie, pushing back the creep, and now he is just going to get a couple of free Overlord kills. Nice move from Drewbie to assert his map dominance and force StrifeCro back into a more defensive position. The Greater Spire is on the way, as well as an Ultralisk Cavern, so this could be a scary time if Drewbie doesn't do some crippling damage here. Both players getting very close to max. A lot of Lings are on the field, and there are the infested Terrans. Looks like this big engage is getting close to happening, but StrifeCro doing a good job pulling Drewbie's army out of position, abusing the mobility of his army. He is going to surround that planetary. No repair is going to come down. A great play from StrifeCro right here, and the planetary does fall. Drewbie is moving in. He has got a beautiful arc, but he is going to be forced to retreat here. It looks like Drewbie is pulling somewhat ahead. Uh-oh, he's going to get caught out of position once again. A beautiful play from StrifeCro to go straight for the natural. Once again,
Drewbie does take down that Greater Spire. Sorry, he has the 16 Marine drop, and he's going to take down the spawning pool as well. All of the units of StrifeCro, though, are pouring into Drewbie's base. This is a tense time here. I'm not sure Drewbie has enough in that 16 drop to be able to deal with it. Zergling's coming in nicely. A couple of those spine crawlers really helping StrifeCro to defend. Burrow is now complete. Those 3 infestors are just chilling there. All of the Marines are at such low health. A great money